Today, let's talk about friends, friendship. I'm sure all of us got friendship. We got so many friendships. We got so many types of friends. We got faithful friends. We got loyal friends. We got sneaky friends. We got cheating friends. We got friends that lies. We got friends that steal. We know that we got a friend that hooks up, that know how to hook up. We even got the friend that's friend of friends, and we got the friend that don't nobody like. We got so many friends. Which brings me to the point of friendship when it comes to politics. Yeah, friendship and politics. See, I used to, be hanging around politicians, and they got types of friends too. They got bad friends. They got friends that they don't like, but they use. They got friends that they don't discuss. On a party level, they hate each other, but in the realm, they friends. Something to think about. Yeah, I look kind of rough. I had a hard time with that doggone oxygen sensor. I had to get somebody to help me take that thing off. And that's my friend, mechanic friend. Yeah, we're going to get into friendship. But you say, okay, Samantha, why are you saying all of this? Because we're going to talk about Donald Trump friends. Let's talk about that. See, how you find out what a person really are. You look at their friendship with whoever. I used to say this: if I meet somebody and I meet their closest friend, and then me and this person along, and they so quick to tell me all the other person's business, I kind of stay distant from that friend, because that friend is a low down friend. That's a traitor friend. That's what I say to myself. I base my friendship on credit score. Everybody ain't some folks, you can't give them no interest at all, but some you take a chance on. That's them high risk creditors, stuff like that. Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, they did have a friendship. They had a common interest together. They hung around certain people. They hung around certain things, certain people. They did certain things together. They include their wives, their friends, their girlfriends, blah, 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 blah. But what really brings a friend out is when something happens that tests your friendship. Now, they say that Trump and Epstein was in some kind of battle. Started off over somebody working for them, and they got mad. But it's turning out that it was over a real estate deal. See, Epstein had some property he was looking on, and of course he asked his best friend to come on board and tell me what you think of this, because I want to buy this property. Well, it's just like, have you, I'm going to say this. Have you ever had you're dating somebody or liking somebody, and you introduce them to somebody that's close to you, and then you find out that she trying or he trying to be with your partner? That kind of relationship that came out between Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. See, Trump bought the property from up under Jeffrey, and that kind of made Jeffrey a little bit salty about it. You can understand that. So it wasn't that Trump got the property that made it so salty. Is the fact that he started telling people that Jeffrey Epstein couldn't pay for the property. He didn't have that kind of money. But Trump did. That's what Trump said when he bought the property. But y'all know Trump is the friend that would lie about stuff. The exaggerated friend. Y'all, we got, you don't act like you ain't got no friend. Come on, family. We got friends that you ask them something will happen and they exaggerate the whole thing. Then when you find out the truth, you be like, wow, why would he lie? He just that kind of person. So anyway, Jeffrey Epstein said, look, man, you already got the property and everything. Don't be sitting up here embarrassing me. You gonna make me tell off on you, expose you. You don't want that. See, that made Trump mad. That comes where you have the vindictive friend, the petty friend. Friend don't know how to let go. They petty shit. They remember shit that happened to them when they was 2 years old, and they just waiting on space and opportunity to get back. What Trump did, he did the petty thing. He called the FBI and reported Jeffrey Epstein. And the rest is history. But you know, Jeff Epstein is calling from the grave because his family and people are reporting things that Trump did. Well, you say, Samantha, that ain't got nothing to do with it. But let's take his ex-wife. Some people, when they get a divorce and they say, well, we still friends and stuff. You be careful how you say that, because, when his first wife died, Ivania, when she died, he didn't bury her in a plot or a cemetery or stuff. He buried her on the property. Then he turned around and made the property a cemetery so he wouldn't get a tax write-off. So he can get a tax write-off. Look like a pile of heap and some bushes. So you said, well, why is it that the children not saying something? Surely the children would. Well, if you got 2 kids that really ain't saying that ain't making a living, don't know how to make a living, a true decent living. Yeah, Dad, I'll be hurt, but I wouldn't be too hurt about that. Y'all know, come on. Just bury their mama out there like she was just whatever. That's 2 people. Well, let's take his second wife. He divorced her, and while he was he meet his women how his life is. He don't get a divorce and heal and move on. He do it in the middle of whatever he was doing. Yeah, friendship. Ooh, that's a big thing to say about friendship. Some of y'all can relate, cause these are the same people. Don't matter if they got money or not. They are friends. Mike Lindell, the pillow man, was friends with Trump. And when Trump got in trouble, he risked his business, saying that that the 2016 election was stolen from Trump, and he fought it to the bitter end, and he fought it so well that he went bankrupt. He being sued by Dominion, same people that Fox paid that $1 billion lawsuit settlement for. You would have thought a friend, if your friend is going to my defense and helping me out and trying to save me and trying to prove my innocence, that surely when he lost his money and all of that, surely he would have helped him out, because Trump is selling everything from farts to tennis shoes, because he said the black folks can relate to that. Mugshot black folks can relate to that. He's saying that now he got the fight Bitcoin, that little coin they said is free, but you have to pay for postage. You got to pay for something. So you would have thought he would have helped him, because after all, he's a billionaire. He became a billionaire when he became president. Congress when the Democrats get back in control, they're gonna start pushing out some laws to all this stuff. See, sometimes some bad stuff have to happen for us to make some changes in how the president do his act. But anyway, you would have thought, him being a friend of Trump, he would have saved Trump. He would have paid for some legal fees. He would have did something, gave him a cabinet position. It gave him a position, let him clean up the toilets at the White House. No, he didn't do that. Yeah. Michael Cohen, his lawyer. was his right-hand man dungeon, turned activist. Went to jail for Trump. But over that Stormy Daniels thing and all them other stuff. Surely he would have, told, would have pardoned him, gave him a pardon, even if he didn't want to do it, would have gave him a pardon. No, he got mad because, he shouldn't have told on him. Well, let's go back. So now he's not a friend. Well, let's take how petty he is. How bad is our president petty? The president of the United States, not all, but the president of the United States is bad. When you couldn't buy food with Biden, I know you ain't being able to buy nothing now. And things are going up, people losing their houses. The bankruptcy rate with companies have reached over 80. Individual bankruptcies have increased a number of 40%. The courts are full now. Let's see, hold on now. John Deere, our icon company, going out of business. Farmers are going out of business. But he's telling you he's using taxpayer money to get all these immigrants out. He's spending money and ain't nothing coming in. Because, see, now the world don't want to fool with us. They cutting off the postal service. Yeah. They stopping trade with us. It done got so bad that Walmart, Kroger, and all these other food chains now are going to these bottom of the barrel. They're not getting quality food. They're getting quantity food. And that's where you get that radioactive shrimp. Glow in the dark. Because they got to buy something cheap in order for them to kind of level out the tariffs, in order for it to come on your plate. You don't know what you're getting ready to eat now. So, we're getting back to that. So, he's very petty. Instead of him trying to fix the economy so you can live and live better, he revoked Kamala Harris's Secret Service. And some of you MAGA gonna say, you know what? Well, that's good. Okay, yeah, that's good. That's good. Then you're gonna say he trying to put Biden in jail, Obama in jail. Let's see, he going after everybody he can. He ain't going after Bush too much, but he revoked his Secret Services too. Bush gonna be okay. He doing all of that with congestive heart failure, fat ankles, bruises on his arms. And then he had to ask the question like this. I want to do right by God. I want to do right by God. See, this is what the real story is. See, somebody gave him some bad news on his health. But instead of him having common sense and trying to stop what he's doing, he really pushing it now. Because he know that, time is against him. He got J.D. Vance that's against him. All this other stuff, And the question is, since we talking about friends, if he don't care about any of his friends, who are you? He don't know you. He knew them. They was in his chapter, his living room. So explain to me how he know you. How is he helping you? How is he helping you? Things went from bad to worse. And don't sit there and say you can, because somebody told me that they was asking people that they have a Kroger card and sign up for a Visa. And now this lady said she been there since 8 o'clock that morning trying to give out credit cards. And my cousin was the only one that was pre-approved for a credit card. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Friends. We don't look at how somebody treats your friend. You got somebody, and this the funny thing about it. See, America likes drama. Did you know that? America love it. They love it. They love drama. They love people fighting and having drama. Why you say that? They got the Housewives of Atlanta Housewives of Texas, Housewives of Memphis. They got Memphis police. They got cops. They got what else? Come on, now, come on. They got Ray J and all these black women clowning. You got Power. You got what all this stuff you got on you, and then you had the two big sisters that they lost weight, so they wasn't no fun no more. They clowning over stuff. Now they got two more big sisters. That you know, we just love drama. America loves the drama. That's how they get off. If you clown, if you show you ghetto, then you the man. You can't be professional. You can't be this and yeah, I must be missing something. They call black folks ghetto, but then we got a ghetto president, and they say that's keeping it real. Explain that. Explain that. I be trying to explain it. He messed over his friends, but we still have some idiots out here that feel like he's gonna save this country. He's putting America first. You know what? You know, he said he found fraud and waste in with people that's getting Social Security. But here's the funny part: you don't see folks still getting Social Security, nor have you told anybody who was guilty. You would think the Justice Department would have been more than happy to plaster the immigrants that they claim had 67 Social Security numbers on their website to show that, hey, that you know what, America, that we've been paying for these immigrants, illegal immigrants. Surely you would have seen it where they said, you know what, these immigrants are not paying no taxes. They just living here rent free. They getting all these benefits. But you hear the rumors, but you don't see the facts. But see, that's the drama behind it. Friends. He was going after his friends. Now he going after his old cabinet members. Friends. How many of us have them? Yeah. See, right now, we're not America anymore. We Russia. This is Russia. Unofficial Russia. Ain't no use in saying make America great. Russia. They talking about us. Putin is praising how Trump is handling America right now. Other leaders have stopped going to the White House because of what Trump doing. Trump would to sit here and tell everybody to stop so he can go talk to Putin. You said, well, Samantha, what about all them documents at the Mar-a-Lago? What happened about that? Because he had secrets, nuclear secrets and stuff. There was a CIA director named Henson that was selling secrets. He worked for the CIA. He was selling secrets to the Russians. And they caught him and charged him with espionage. And he died in jail. But it's different when it's an employee, but this is the head of the man of our country that's doing it. Yeah. Why not? He put up citizenship for sale. Trump, $1 billion, everything is Trump. He getting this ready. We are unofficial Russia. We are now living in the days of how Russia is going to be. It's going to get to a point. See, that's why black folks don't get it yet. Some black folks still don't get it. See, when he, like videos like this, he going to find you, put you in jail. Sort of like apartheid. You know, he get tired of you or you make him mad. He just get rid of you, put you in a camp. He's starting that now. See, Putin couldn't do all of this with Obama, Bush, Clinton, all these folks. And see, America sitting here saying, well, you know what? He getting the job done. Yeah, he getting the job done, all right. We're going to be changing our flag in a minute now. Yeah. He getting the job done. While these folks, like some of these Republicans who sitting here praising him. You see that thing, he was at the table and they all praising how good he is and stuff. That's a dictator. Friends. Fake friends. You ain't had some before? Girl, you just, girl, you be going out the house looking like a mop. Girl, you look good. You look bad. You got friends that kiss the booty hole. That's what we got now. And they still walking around with Make America Great. How's America great? How is he making America great? You have to wonder. Why would he have some secrets at Mar-a-Lago? But see, he ain't worried about your eggs and stuff. He getting back. He going after everybody that did something to him. From Obama making that speech to anybody that did something to him. He going after his cabinet members and all of that. And yet, you still have folks, some black folks, that's sitting up here saying that, yeah, they agree with them. You know, this is where stupidity come into play. This is where ignorance come into play. This is where low self-esteem come into play. That you would let somebody trample on you. That, like I said, if we don't stand up come next year, because it's going to be worse. Please don't think that because the sky is blue and the grass is green and the trees are going brown, that this time next year we are under uncertain circumstances. We are not considered citizens anymore because they're doing test plays on how to get rid of people. But we don't see that yet. They're doing test plays on how they can get rid of things. They're going to set up, they're getting the states to set up school system. It's going to be a dictatorship. They're getting rid of all these histories and Holocaust, and they're erasing black history and stuff. And they come on there, and black folks still at the picnic, dancing with no music, waiting on, it's still at the party. We still there, still at the party. You got black folks that don't think this is applied to them. That you got black folks that don't think that, you know what, that God gonna come to their house and just put his hand on their roof and say, no, leave Trump, leave him alone. But see, this is where ignorance come into play. Because if you sit here and believe that, you know, they're just like somebody sitting on the couch waiting on God to tell them, you know what, I went and did an application for you for this job. I went on the interview too, and you got the job, but whenever you're ready to get up and go do it, you gonna go do it. Yeah. See, that's where it irks you or gets to you, is that you have people who know he ain't done friends wrong, but think that somehow, it's just like a woman that know a man got 5 and 6 kids by different women, and then they think because she is involved with him, and she got a car, she got a job, she got her own, and then she meet this man and said, well, you know what, his baby mamas didn't have this, I got it, he gonna want to be with me. And then you find out that, you know what, you were just another notch in the belt. Yeah. So this is the unofficial. That's why they delaying everything, because the midterm elections, they got to rig it in order for them to finish out the stuff. So if you don't go vote, or if you still thinking that slave mentality, that you got to look at the black person or the white person, or you're not looking at the qualifications, what they stand for, is it aligned with your agenda of how you want to live? Because I'm going to tell you something, you got some folks, and even black folks, you got some black folks that's happy being broke. You got some black folks that's happy being a slave. They happy. They are happy. You got some white folks that's happy being a slave. You know what? They rather be a slave, and they think that they ain't got to do nothing, or they just got to, they on this earth like a pile of shit. They just here. They ain't got no other resources. They ain't gonna go get a job. They living in the same house. Mama died and daddy died and left them a house, and it used to be a pretty house, and they let it go to shit. They don't care. That's you got them kind of folks. They don't want to. They like things just the way it is. As long as they can get by, they okay. But some of us want a life. We want a life for our children, for other folks' children. And when I hear a politician talks about how they running for office because they got 3 kids or 5 kids and all of that, and they ain't talking about your kids, I gotta question that, because see, if you just doing it for your family, you can't be doing it for mine. You can't be. If you doing it, if the first thing that comes out of a politician's mouth is that, you know what, I'm looking at my children, you know what, you need to get up and leave, because that person ain't thinking about you. They thinking about them, they situation. So I'm telling you, and 9 times out of 10, they gonna look out for themselves. But when they tell you, I see America the way it is, and it's going, I'm looking at this immigrant woman that's going through this, then that's who you need. We gotta start looking at who our warriors are. Yeah, it's getting deep here. So, like I said, if you still think that you gonna be up under the radar, that it is not gonna affect you, then you know what? This is where America as a whole finna fuck around and find out. Because right now, we got a lot we got a lot at stake. And they ain't playing, but we still at the picnic. Still at the picnic.